All right, sorry about that. We had a few little technical issues. Um, so new file. We're gonna go file. We're gonna reference again, and we're gonna load up that particular one, magic set. And I'm just gonna reference that file. Of course, there's mental Raynos. Press OK. That's fine as well. Right. So this is what we have. Right. The rig works. Everything seems to work. We tested it before. Unlike the last time, it kind of had some technical issues with the arms. You weren't seeing the arm IK controls, and when we actually did see them, they were not working. So, is that so? I've taken the liberty of hiding his face in terms of the face controls, right? So you won't see his facial stuff right now, even though you can actually still control it. Um, so we're gonna need a few things. Let's build a wall like from poly modeling. I'm gonna hit that. My cube is very small. There we go. Probably get over this one still. Gonna build a wall. It's gonna be amazing. And we need to build a doorbell dinger. Ding 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 ding. It's a doorbell. And last but not least, stick that out a bit. That's the or something figure. Pull that up. Rotate it about 90 degrees on the x-axis. And just scale you up. That's the big enough button. Of course, we can always change the colors of these. Add new material. We're going to use the Arnold AI standard surface. And the same thing for this one. New material. Arnold AI standard surface. That one's going to be red. So we're good now. My button is made. I am ready to animate. Just to reiterate, you need to make sure that your windows, general editors, sorry, settings preferences. Make sure that your animation is going to be step, right? So we have that blocking. Look, we're just going for timing now, and I'm just going to put it in. I'm supposed to be talking slower. Sorry. We're going to put this in side view as well as perspective view. So I'm going to just have the dual view here, and one is going to be perspective, one's going to be right view. And all we're going to be doing is playing with just the right hand today. So the right hand, if you want to make it a little bit more believable, you can always rotate his head a little bit down like so. And if you feel like you need to tilt the neck forward, you can. But that is all up to you. I mean, if you want to be like a giraffe, that's cool too. But yeah. Right, so we're working with this. The arm is what we're focusing on tonight. So we'll be playing a lot around with this particular control that deals with the arm movement. So at first, I'd definitely recommend one, putting this stuff here on a different layer. That way you can't modify it while you're moving around the character in the case you need to select different controls. So I'm going to create a new layer for it. Hit that, it's called layer one. I'll just call it doorbell and save. All right, so how does a person ring a doorbell? Well, it starts off here And let's just grab that reference again and see how that looks. So it started off with him already had his hand up. So if I want to start, I can start off with a pose like this, and then bam, right? So let's start off with that kind of a pose. We're gonna have the arm up like so. So if you're left-handed, use your left hand. All right, so you have to be careful about that and how that looks and how the rig looks. And just rotating it here, trying to go with the actual curve of this because we don't want a weird-looking episode where things look all stupid. So let's pull this back. And in the case that this elbow is giving you issues, it's really due to this guy. Let's pull it down so you can be more naturally flexed. Right, so when you set your controls and you're comfy with that as your initial pose, and maybe want just to kind of tweak that a little bit more, I just look at the what we have. It kind of has the arm out like so in terms of his arminess, right? That looks okay, and probably a little bit down. Maybe we can pull the chest back a little bit, maybe a slight rotation, and we'll start off the pose like so. It's right height. We could always pull this up a little bit more. So move this up a bit more, like in line with the chestal region. And perhaps we can start by curling the thumb and a couple of the fingers there that we have. So I'm gonna curl 1, 2, 3, hit E to rotate, and just get something like this. Which you can see it kind of looks like that. So it's about to ring it. He's not quite there yet. So it's gonna kind of tilt that because I'm a little unsure as to whether I should ring this bell or not. And let's say we're starting off with all that. So we've moved a lot of stuff, but we haven't actually set any, any keyframes yet. So let's take the liberty of actually just highlighting the whole thing and make sure that we lock these layers because we had created them, but we didn't set them to be referenced. So I'm going to highlight all these and just hit, well, let's make sure of one more thing. The head geometry should not really be selectable, so that head mesh that you have there, make sure that's referenced as well. So highlight the whole thing, hit F, and it says some manipulators have no cable attributes, blah blah blah, base animation, blah blah blah. All right, so let's set the keyframe for the arm. So arm, you're gonna be set, and you have issues. Of course, you have issues. Why am I not surprised? So I'll do this with my arm. Right click, I'm going to choose to break connections. I break those connections so I can actually set the keyframe. Wow. Not sure why that's an issue, but it seems to be an issue. I'm going to highlight the same for this one because I'm not sure if that's also a problem. And I'm going to break some connections here. So that I can actually set that as well. So let's see what else is giving issues that we need to break some connections and set up. So I think S, and it looks like just the arms were the issues. So I've broken those connections, whatever those were. No longer have any connections to those things. All right, so we're good. We start off nice. That's the first pose. Oh no. Why? I thought I set you, but you lied to me. And the base animation bar is not selected nor locked. from one process to the other one. Welcome to my life. What do you Man, we went through so much together, and I have 11% left. After this, one major animation thingy where you get your reference, you um where you have that diorama. I mean, nothing works. I'm gonna fix this rig. As this rig about to kill me. Yes, you, what is that? Boom. Second case, go to the animation layers, which is what? Oh, kiss my chicken. Them son here. There is no animation layers. Ding dong. Alright, mental man. You know any foolishness? So you have anime of foolishness. So hold the phone. You mean to tell me that when you don't reference it, there's no problem? Guys, I found the problem. There's no problem. Apparently, when you reference it, the problem comes up. So, if I tell this thing, am I still recording? I am still recording. Check that. I'm gonna have to cut this. If I reference it and I say, what is it? Not unload or remove reference. Wow, I killed it. That weren't supposed to happen. Import this time. Right now, I'm gonna import the character. Right, magic set. Right, cool. Same location because it's imported this time, and I move stuff around. I press S. If I am correct, no problem. Right, so it looks like when I reference this file, there's an error that pops up that seems to be looking for some sort of base animation. So I guess for now on, what I recommend is just saving the magic set, the original one, and when you need to animate with it again, you have another one. So we go, hey, start, and then if we look at the timeline of the animation we have from before, at about 2 seconds, hands up in the air, so 0 seconds. Let's get the initial pose down. So I'm gonna close a couple of these Maya files that I have. I don't need. Thank you, sir. Don't save. Right? That, this, and of course, move this guy over. Just be careful that something doesn't get broken. A rig is never perfect. If you push the limits of the rig, it will break. So example, this little controller here from my elbow. Keep that elbow close to the body. Probably this arm needs to be rotated in that direction. And pull this over somewhere. I have a couple of things I want to set the keyframe for, but this particular pose, let us hope it doesn't happen again. I like those. Changing the doorbell to a reference. Can select or modify. Hit that, press S. Keyframe set, please. Alright, it's set. Thank God. Now let's go. So that's the first one. Now we want the initial startup to look like this. I'm going to highlight these fingers. Press E to rotate them. Right? It's like an unsure kind of a look. That's that. You know, am I supposed to hit the doorbell now? Am I not supposed to hit the doorbell? Kind of have a kind of look and feel. And you can also play with the rotate Z if you want to just make sure everything is cool. And the same thing for the thumb. You can always play with the rotate Z on that too. In case, you know, you want that look. Alright, so I'm gonna highlight this stuff. Hit S because that's what I'm starting with. And then the last thing I want to see is when he actually hits it, which is a total of 3 seconds for the whole thing, and you're hitting it at about 2 seconds. So the pose should look something like this at 2 seconds, which is about 48 frames. So here, first pose, second pose. Let's move this forward. Right? And move that arm a little bit more confidently. That finger is gonna come up some more. So we need to make sure that that finger right there, the Z rotation is more like this. Really hitting that doorbell. And what I'll do is just push this further. Reason why is because I can then animate my doorbell. So I have a cylinder for the bell. I have one for the wall. It's gonna have a stationary pose before it gets hit, and oh my gosh, before 45 frames, it's gonna be here at about that. Press S at about 50, 48. I'm gonna push this further along. I forgot to, you know, same crosses as before. Boom. This one, rotate this on the Z axis. More confident looking push. Don't break his finger like this though. That don't make no sense. Unless you're exaggerating, and that's all fine too. If you're exaggerating. There's that. Push that in like that. Press S. Highlight everything. Press S. Right. So first pose. And remember I said that we should make sure that it's unstepped. So this is what happens if it's not unstepped. It's gonna start animating like that for you. It kind of splines the animation and just throws in its own, however it feels like. Look. And that doesn't like appeal to me so much. So I'm gonna put it back to step. And if you watch Into the Spider-Verse, they kind of use something similar in terms of they don't spline the animation so much. It's almost like it's on 2 or 3, if you want to call it that, or depending on which character. I'm gonna go back and change the settings for the animation and move. Well, mine says step 2. I don't know what's going on. So let's set my animation graph just to make sure what's going on here. So here we have some stuff, and in the case you want to check that it's stepped, you can always highlight this stuff and just let it be stepped, and it will be, well, stepped. So bam, so boom, that. So the button we want to be pushed in at time 49. So I'm gonna put there, and for S, well, I'm selecting the bell by itself. Bell's gonna be pushed in like so that time. So bam, really hitting the bell. So when the animation starts out, like when you're just starting out, it's gonna probably look something like this. S. Now you want to make room for anticipation, or you know, person's about to the doorbell. Um, what's that look like? Well, your hand is gonna follow through with your main body. So in the animation here, I'm gonna pull it back a little bit, and because it's going up like so, that part goes up. This part might rotate slightly down like so. It's like, right, you can see that getting the appeal in there. And you could even do that. So S. And if you want it to just be taken up a little bit more, right there. And then just before he actually hits it, the this, you're gonna have a part where, because after you're gonna have to settle. Settling is more like, like so. So looks like this. And it's not just a matter of rotating the wrist, but also, right, moving this up as well. And perhaps it comes up. We're gonna settle the hand too. So it's fine if you rotate the hand a little bit up, and even go as far as to do the same with the finger, right? So now it looks more like this. So stepping it still. Before that happens, that press, you're gonna need some anticipation for that too. So we're working forward, backward, then backward, forward. We look for the main what we call extremes, or the main keys. Then after your keys, you look at the extremes and then the breakdowns. And after your breakdowns, your in betweens. And Pixar actually go frame by frame for the animation. So okay, and that happens at about 49. Just before it presses, we can kind of do a follow through. This is what it looks like. Perhaps it starts there. And probably right here, you want that finger to just bend over backward. And just press S for that. So you see that kind of looks weird when it kind of offsets. So I prefer if it was more of a case where it's up. And if you want to move this backwards, let's pull this arm down some more. Right? And of course, the hand must come back up because you pressed the doorbell, and if you're coming back up, imagine a satisfied. That's going to be that. This is probably going to be. right? The whole thing. And ideally, you want to be keyframing the whole thing as it happens. Because if you should spline it at any time, what's going to happen is that you're going to have some really weird looking animation. Did I not turn the head off? So I'm going to spline that here and here. Here, press S for all of those, S for every last one of them. So all the keys get. So for me, I think this is held, this part here is held a little bit too stiff. Because, naturally speaking, my body wouldn't just be, just still like that. So I'm going to pull this up. And of course, I'm keyframing everything again. We have some more like this. And then you go back in and you clean up those and clean up more and clean up more, right? You can actually even take a little gander at how it looks when you spline it. So if I highlight the whole thing and we open up the graph editor that's in Windows and animation editors, you have graph editor. Right now, everything is stepped. That means the reason why you see those jerky movements is because it's just jumping to that particular look. If I highlight all these, right, and I choose to kind of spline them, that one, auto tangent, what's gonna happen is this. It's gonna just kind of tweak everything. And that's why it's important to have all your keys for every component or every part of the body keyed, because if you should spline it and you forget a particular limb or a finger or something and it wasn't keyed, it's just gonna interpolate that key from one particular key to the last key that you have, rather than taking into consideration the whole animation. So now it looks like this, right? It still looks a little dead, and you can always just press play, see what it would look like, and that looks still dead, right? So then you actually have to go in, clean it up, fix it up, make it nicer, and then, well, there's also some more like this. As you can see, I'm not sure if you noticed it, but in this particular animation, I played around with the way the fingers move. It's like, should I touch it? Not quite. And you see the fingers do like a little thing, and then it jumps to. But at no time at all do you see the arm really just staying stationary for too long, because human body isn't like that. You're trying to make it as believable as possible. If it's not believable, it's gonna look robotic. So I'm gonna go back in here and let's just fix that graph back to our little stepped version, and we go, and then we can just tweak it some more. So even this movement here, I'll probably just move this up slightly forward, press S. So if you want to, for yours, do the almost touch, pull back, and then touch, you can do that too. So up. Oh, I forgot something. The door is actually the bed is actually supposed to come back out. the belt. I'm sorry, the door, the belt part of the door is supposed to. I'm just gonna copy this frame. Right click, choose copy frame. About that 61, paste. So it has the same properties as before. And I could also even go as far as to say for this bell thing, we don't want you to be able to rotate or scale anything. We just want you to be able to move things along the Z axis. I'm going to highlight that, this, or CTRL, right click and choose lock selected. Those don't need to move. Instead them to 0 if I want to. Choose and delete selected. Like I said, it's good to have a reference. So if you want to use a reference to do something like this, that's cool. If you want that settle, and again we have that movement. Never forget your principles. That's not follow through enough, especially if you're moving up. It has to come down at least a bit before it settles. Bam. The beginning of stop motion. Bam. Let's play with this finger a bit. We're like, okay, let's do a thing, make it a little more uneven. Highlight it. Alright, when we something before it actually, just before it, what does that even look like? Just move it down. Let's rotate it. Move it across over some more. And just before you hit the door, what does that look like? Well, let's change the rotation on the Z axis. Or you can even change the fingertip to bend back even further. That's things you can control too. Just highlight all this stuff. Highlight everything actually. So boom. So I feel like this needs to just be a little bit more follow through back. Break that wrist a little bit. Yes. Wow. There's some really fast action happening here. One, two. I'm gonna just space this out a bit. Oh, you fail, Jake, you fail. That bet not supposed to happen yet. This finger need to curl. Curl some more, you shall. All these little things. All these little things. So yeah, real pressing. Bam. By the way, you know how we're animating, right? And I'm not exactly showing you how onion skins work. That's the fault of mine. So you want to see the onion skins? You go to enable motion path. Well, let's just choose a whole piece. This will show you one long continuous trail, and I think mine's gonna crash shortly. My condolences to this. Unfortunately, I did not save what I was doing for most of it. So the video is there. I'm going to just do a few clipping and cutting off so that we don't have that problem again. So I'm gonna stop my recording here, like Maya stopped right here. Hope you enjoyed the video. Learn a little something.